to know what you want, to understand why you're doing it, to dedicate every breath in your body to achieve. If you feel you have something to give, if you feel that your particular talent is worth caring for, then there's nothing you can't achieve.
Dreams without goals. Yearly goals, life goals, daily goals, monthly goals, hourly goals, minute by minute goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency.
I want to talk to you today for just a couple of minutes about goals. I want to talk to you about where you're going and what you want to do with your life. You see, most people never go after what they want because they don't know every step they have to take to get there. I want you to think of a person going up the side of a wall of ice. Now, the only rule for reaching a goal that you have to know is knowing where you're going and knowing that you're going to get there. You do not have to know how you're going to get there. Now pay attention to this for a moment. Imagine the climber has all his equipment. He's got his crampons, he's got his climbing rope, his hardware, his ice axes. How does he get to the top? He's standing on the ground and he's looking at maybe 100-foot vertical wall of ice. He looks up and he has absolutely no idea the path that he's going to take. He just sees himself at the top. He reaches up and he puts one pick in, and then another pick. Then he raises 1 foot and then the other. Now he's not standing on the ground any longer. He's suspended on the wall, on a vertical wall of ice that goes up for 100 feet. He adapts to the changes that is taking place in his environment. And then and only then does he see the next step. And he moves this pick, then this pick, then this foot, then this foot. Now, that's how he gets to the top, a step at a time. And that's how you're going to get to your goal. You just have to know the first step to take. And when you take that step, you're going to find that your conditions, your circumstance, and environment will change. Then you see how you have to make the next step. It's a matter of adapting all the time. You only have to know 2 things. You have to know where you're going, and you have to know that you're going to get there. You've got to see it in your mind. Now, this is the beautiful scenario. This is what it's all about. Save that in your mind and think of it often. Think, every time you think of your goal and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do it, think of that vertical wall of ice. What's the next step? That's all you really have to know. 1 step at a time. And you'll get to wherever you're going. That's how Hillary got to the top of Mount Everest.
To set higher goals. Because goals make you stretch. They help you to become more of who you are. And in this enormative conformity, so many people don't know how to set goals. They get confused about the process. A lot of people use New Year's resolutions. But the problem with New Year's resolutions is that a person often tries to do too much, too fast. So let's say Doug wants to stop smoking. On a December 31st, he says, I'm done. January 1st, I'm clean. Never again. You see, he hasn't created a plan of action to achieve his goals, and therefore it is unreasonable. Bucket list is something else that people do. And usually when someone creates a bucket list, they're giving themselves too much time. There's no urgency, and most of the time, they don't write their goals down. So what do you suggest? Well, I'm glad you asked. What I do suggest is for you to write your goals down. I believe that a dull pencil is better than a sharp mind. And to impress your subconscious mind, you have to write your goals down so that you can hold it steadfastly to who you are. I have this method I teach all around the world. It's called the 20 idea method. And basically what you do is you select one overarching goal that you would like to accomplish, and it lists 20 ideas that corresponds with that particular goal. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to become a better public speaker. What are some things you can do? Well, you could watch TED Talks like you are right now. You could practice your speech, right? You can look in the mirror to challenge yourself. You could read the dictionary every day. There's so many things you can do. But could I come up with 20 ideas? The answer is yes, I can come up with 100 if I wanted to. Imagine if you did this in every area of your life, financially, for promotions, for your family, and you wrote your goals down every day. You'd be able to accomplish so many things in your life. You see, we have everything we need in order to succeed, but we have to take the things that we have to get more of the things that we want. From the cars that we drive, to the clothes that we wear, to the food that we eat, and the people that we meet. In this depository of diversity, we have everything we need in order to succeed. But we have to believe. You see, when you believe in yourself, you'll find that everyone else in the world will believe in you.
This is how the law of attraction really works. And it's not some mysterious esoteric voodoo, as it sometimes sounds like, or as it's sometimes described. It is far simpler and more practical than that. You see and experience and get what you look for. If you don't know what to look for, you certainly won't get it. I could end there, but let me explain a little further so your rational brain can finally say, I get it. Although the difference in your results seem like magic, there really is no magic to this at all. By our very nature, we are goal-seeking creatures. Your brain is always trying to align your outer world with what you are seeing and expecting in your inner world. What you instruct your brain to look for, the things you want, you will begin to see them. In fact, the object of your desire has probably always existed all around you, but your mind and your eyes weren't open to it. You see, we are surrounded with billions of sensory, visual, audio, physical inputs of information each day. To keep ourselves from going insane, we ignore 99.9% of them. You only really see, hear, or experience those you focus your mind on. Does that make sense? It's not mysterious at all. It's actually quite logical. Now, whatever your mind is thinking on the inside is what it will pay attention to in the space of the 99% of everything else and all of a sudden see it. Did you ever start car shopping and then started to see the model and make of the car you were shopping for everywhere? Seems like there are a ton of them on the streets all of a sudden. More likely they have been there all along, but you weren't paying attention to them, thus they didn't really exist to you before. Here's another example. Take this simple test. In the room that you're sitting in right now, count the number of red items that you see. Take 5 seconds and count as many as you can. Go. How many items did you count? Now, without looking, eyes closed, how many items in the room do you remember that were blue? You probably can't recall many at all. Now open your eyes and focus on all the blue items that you see around the room, and you'll probably see a lot more than you remember. Why? Because the first time you weren't looking for them. Thus, you didn't see them. In your first reality, they didn't really exist at all. So, when you define your goals, you give your brain something to focus on and look for. You give your mind a new set of eyes to all of a sudden see all the people, circumstances, conversations, resources, ideas, creativity, and otherwise so it can go about matching up on the outside with what you want on the inside, your goal. It's that simple. But the difference in how you see, experience, and draw ideas, people, and experiences into your life after you have clearly defined your goals is profound. Having goals gives you vision. I told you the story of the legend of David in a blog a couple of weeks ago. I'll remind you about it here. Legend has it that there was a block of marble back in the 1400s that was cast aside, seen as flawed, being deemed too long and narrow to be useful for sculpture. It laid there useless for 40 years until 1501, when looked upon by a 20-something young man by the name of Michelangelo. Inside this formless mass of marble, the young Michelangelo saw the heroic beauty, grace, and wonder of a man who would become known as David. Michelangelo famously said, "I already saw David inside. I only had to release him by chipping away at the marble that trapped him in." Goals give you direction. Having a goal fixed on the horizon gives you something to navigate towards. Here's an example. Three boys are out hiking and they come to an open field. They decide to have a contest to see who could walk the straightest line. The first two boys studied each step, carefully putting one foot in front of the other. When they looked up, they could see that they had zigzagged or arched off in one direction or the other. The third boy walked a perfectly straight line and did it with much more speed. How did he do it? He kept his eyes focused on a single tree in the distance and simply walked directly toward it. While most people may be paying attention to what they are doing or where they are going day to day, it is only when you have goals set out on the horizon that you can directly and expeditiously advance your life in that direction. Maybe you've set goals for yourself before and they didn't work. Or maybe you didn't work. There are 5 big reasons why most goal-setting attempts fail. Let's go through them quickly. 1. Your goals are nothing but a wish list. Goal achieving is not simply the act of writing down a wish list and sending it off to the North Pole, expecting some magical character with an army of elves to work tirelessly to materialize your goals as you sleep peacefully with sweet visions of sugar plum fairies dancing in your head. You cannot simply write down a list of wants on New Year's Day, stick it in a drawer for the rest of the year, and wait around for your life to change. Here's number 2. You have dirty goals, meaning your goals are as clear as mud. Your goals have to be crystal clear. You have to give clear instructions to your brain in order for it to see and draw into your sights what you need to accomplish your goals. Just like the combination on a lock, the digits in a phone number, or an ATM code. If it's off by only 1 digit, it won't work. Number 3, your goals are hot. Hot air, that is. Proclaiming your goals is just the starting point. You can't proclaim that you are going to the moon. You better have a very detailed and effective plan on how you're going to do it. Now you have to actually draw a map on exactly how you're going to get there and define the resources you'll need to arrive safely. Number 4, you have no Houston or management and control system. Launching is one thing, but then you need a reliable management and operating system that will keep you on track, continually measure your progress, and monitor through your journey through the unknown. This is critical. Tons of people start. They start diets, they buy books, they sign up for new businesses or gym memberships, they begin new date night routines, etc. Starting is not most people's problem. Staying, continuing, and finishing is. That is where having a management system to help see your goals through is what's critical. It's what separates the dreamers from those who end up living their dreams. Okay, here's number 5. Lack of reinforcements, the support and guidance of people and resources that you will need all along the way. Look yourself in the mirror and say goodbye to your old self. Life will never be the same again starting right now.